Alright, hello everyone. How is it going? Oh my gosh, I still cannot get over just admiring Ether's new outfit. It is so cool! He just looks so awesome in it. I love it. I love it so much. Okay, what do I have for this episode? Well, I was really hoping I was gonna cover everything that I needed to cover at the end of the Archon quest last time, but it seems, indeed, there is something I missed, so we're gonna look at that today. And oh my gosh, now I finished the Archon quest, I could actually go on Twitter and see what other people think, and yes, everybody else thinks there's something about that ending. Okay, spoilers for the ending of the Archon quest. This is the Act 8 of the Archon quest. But definitely it seems like Dottore, everybody agrees Dottore is probably not fully gone. Which, that means, look, there's so much anxiety around this character being around. It would be such a relief for him to actually be gone. But no, it seems we're all in agreement he's probably not gone. And furthermore, oh my gosh, I gotta see if I can find this tweet again. I'll link it if I can find it again. Somebody had a theory, which I totally would have missed if I. This is why we need a community of people who notice things, right? Apparently, at the beginning of Act 7, there's this gecko in the Curatorium of Secrets with red eyes, and Asher's like staring at this gecko, and it like zooms in uncomfortably long on this gecko, and then, oh my gosh, because we know from like the manga and stuff like, and the cutscene from the Sumeru event before that Dottore has red eyes, and so people were speculating that gecko has something to do with Dottore, and I'm like, oh no. And that actually kind of makes sense because he had the power of the moons. The power of the moons allows you to go into the moon gate. The moon gate lets you go back in time, and furthermore, Dottore knows how all of this stuff works way better than we can, and he was shown to be experimenting on having people's consciousnesses put into animals, which was never really addressed again other than just the fact that that's a really horrifying experiment. And in fact, we never addressed that again. Were all those people and animals okay? That's really weird that we never came back to that again, right? It's almost like we're gonna come back to that again in the future. Anyway, I mean, other people are brilliant. I didn't even remember there was a gecko at the beginning. But now that you mentioned, oh, there's a gecko with red eyes that Asher was staring at the beginning. I'm like, oh no. I went back and checked my own footage and I'm like, yep. Yeah, there was a gecko there at the very beginning. That would be crazy. That would be so insane. I'll link it if I can find it. Anyway. I'm worried. And clearly, you know, I feel like Wanderer still has unfinished business with Dottore, you know? Like I said before, he has changed a lot, he's grown a lot. He put his faith in us that we would carry out basically his life's mission up until that point is to, you know, stop Dottore. He had to trust that even though he himself would not have, you know, as he's described, the joy of tearing him apart like himself, He would miss out on that and had to trust that we would do it for him. Which I sincerely hope we did. Unfortunately, I worry that we don't. And at the end, he kind of expressed, like, something about him still feels like he still has a chip on his shoulder. Like, still feels unsettled. I want to say that's just because he is just that kind of person. He can't let go of things that quickly. But I'm worried that actually is another indicator Dottore is not fully gone. Like, I just can't help but have this feeling that things are not okay, right? I think all of this is, I think Dottore might not be gone, and I think Wanderer still has some unfinished business with him. Just concerning. And Sandrone, well, that's who we're going to be focusing on in this episode. Sandrone sacrificed herself for us because she knew we would be able to also, that was also someone who learned to trust over the time we spent together, right? Think about when we first met Sandrone, like, she sent her minions to try to get Inefa's core, you know, she tried to fight us down at Star Sand Shoal, like, for her to become the character that we would grow to trust and she would grow to trust us, I think it really does show how people can change. I mean, the whole thing about you know, being with us is like, you know, Columbina, Sandrone, all these characters learned to change and grow because they were with us when they were kind of stuck in their ways for so long. And with Sandrone, that was her trusting that we would be able to save Columbina and the world. That was something that was, for her, that was something she was willing to die for. I mean, Wanderer was willing to die for his sacrifice of using his core too. But Sandrone actually did. And it was just a genius plan. It was a genius plan. Managed to bring Columbina back. It's... Anyway. Anyway. Arlecchino apparently mentioned it. I missed it out on this, but this is why it's so good after I finished the entire story and not if it being spoiled and go back on social media and people are mentioning the journal of Sandrone's that Arlecchino left in the flagship. Because Arlecchino took Sandrone and Polonia's cores and bodies back to the Fontaine Research Institute. I mean, that's why I'm thinking to myself, Sandrone's story is not over yet. Because with her core, you could technically bring her back, right? Even if she's different from before. But, she also took all the texts and mementos related to Sandrone. Told us not to tell Columbina. And then said she left something for us. So let's go check out that thing that, Arlecchino left for us. There's a lot of... It's great because in the last update they left us on such a sad cliffhanger with Columbina disappearing. Here at least there's some resolution to the story, you know. We can rest easy and we got mostly answers for what we're looking for, but clearly there's still unfinished business with regards to this story. They did address Rerir and Thelindis too, so I don't know if that means Rerir or Thelindis will ever be coming back. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they did go back and address them in the end. But I don't know. There's still so many avenues for extra... Oh, hi. extra threads that this story has, which is good. This story is always continuing on. They're always leaving something new. We can finally just, you know, have some resolution, but that still leaves us with a lot of questions. Namely, you know... It's a few of them. Rerir and Thelindis, I don't know if they'll be coming back, but the Tsaritsa, we never learned what the weaponry in the Kuvaki Experimental Design Bureau was meant to be used for, other than it sounds like it was strong enough to even destroy nations. Okay, that's one. That's certainly something. And I realized we also never learned... Columbina never told us what she used her power for to help the Tsaritsa. She told us she used her power. That's what left her so weak. And then she was able to leave the Fatui, or rather, she left the Fatui. Well, it's not that she was able to. She just straight up left the Fatui, but believed that she doesn't owe them anything anymore because she already did what she came to do for them. What was it? What did she do? What did she do? What did the Tsaritsa need with the power of Kuvaki? What did she do for the Tsaritsa? And furthermore, I think... Oh, there's another... I scrolled through so much. Somebody mentioned Dottore never seems to be seeking the power of the Abyss. He's been researching the Light Realm, Kuvaki, all these other sources. Curiously, while everybody else seeking power seems to, one way or another, all roads lead to the Abyss. Think about how many people, you know, researching power and energy, their journeys have led them to researching the Abyss. Not Dottore, despite everything, never actually ended up researching the Abyss, as far as we know. I mean, that's the curious thing, right? He had summoned the Bishops, but the Bishops are actually in opposition to the Abyss. They're from the Light Realm. I don't know. I don't know. There's so much we don't yet know. Anyway, let's go see what Arlecchino left for us. Oh, Ether's outfit, so cool. Here it is. Oh, here it is. Marionette's notebook, yeah. Oh, No, I want to sit down. Now that I think about it, every time I saw Sandrone, the notebook she had with her was never exactly the same. Probably because she was someone who loved taking notes and often had new ideas. Though she is a machine, to you and your companion, Sandrone is entirely human. Her joys, sorrows, and emotions are not much different from yours. The notebook that the knave hands you is somewhat aged, with creases at the corners as if it has been accidentally folded and then carefully smoothed out by someone. Sandrone has a lot of stories about her recorded in it. You're not sure if the knave has read them, but judging from the expression on her face when she gave you the notebook, she seems to know Sandrone very well even without it, and is even responsible for carrying out her last wishes. Alright, here we go. Marionette's notebook. This probably has a ton of lore in it. At some point I have to go back. I have to re-study all of the Narzissenkreuz Ordo lore. Right? I was gonna say I should do a stream on that, but then I realized I probably already have talked about all of it before, and I just forgot it because it's long and very complicated, but also, as you can tell, very crucial to the main storyline here. It ties everything together. All right, Marionette's notebook. All right. Blank/blank. Okay, I'm assuming that's the date, so I have to just guess what the dates are. Sunny. Oh, she writes what the weather is. That's nice. Alain has provided me with many notebooks. I often discard them after making a few markings. On those occasions, his expression was unreadable. Nevertheless, he supplies me with new ones. I do not understand his reasoning. I do not know why I discarded them after making markings. I do not know why he permits this behavior. He states that my emotion module is optimal. I do not comprehend. This is a new notebook. I do not wish to discard it. I have learned to record. I am beginning to record. All right, the start of every journal. Yes, I've decided to write in my journal. Sunny. I have learned more and my manner of speech has become more elegant. Elegant is a new word I have learned. Alain advised me not to push myself. I disagree. I have performed exceptionally well. We conversed this afternoon. I have drawn several conclusions. 1. Alain created me. 2. He modeled me after memories of his deceased sister, and now he feels guilt. Yeah, okay, so that confirms Sandrone is indeed modeled in the image of Marianne, confirming the fact that, she looks like Marianne. 3. My learning ability exceeds his expectations. Alain Guillotin's younger sister was named Marianne Guillotin. She passed away long ago. Alain finalized my creation on his 65th birthday. He stated that I am a friend, a family member. He expressed happiness about gaining a companion. Alain has not defined our relationship. It is evident that I am not Marianne Guillotin. He concurred, noting that I am significantly different from his sister. He expressed a desire for me to act according to my own will. When I stated I would no longer discard the notebooks, Alain's composure wavered briefly. He likely experienced an urge to weep, but ultimately suppressed it. Alain said I could choose a birthday if I wished. I've considered this proposal seriously. He mentioned that most people cannot choose their birthday, but I can. I am free. I see. Overcast. Alain's physical condition continues to deteriorate. Doctors have visited him frequently. Each time he closes the door, I am excluded from the process. I sense something unfamiliar. Later, Alain identified the sensations as anger and sadness. He expressed satisfaction that I was learning to recognize them. However, he noted that I do not yet understand guilt. He explained that the social mechanisms behind the emotion are too complex for most animals or machines to acquire easily. I have concluded that understanding guilt is not a necessary function for me. Which I think is reflected in the future when, Sandrone is not known to be that nice of a boss within the Fatui, which means she's probably not guilty about it. But with Dottore being in the Fatui, we really set the bar really low for what constitutes being a good boss. Alain inquired about my desires. My response was, I want you to be healthy. Also, Alain presented a new invention to me. He has named it Polonia. I cannot classify Polonia as family, kin, or friend. Its architecture lacks an emotion module comparable to mine. The reason for Alain's design choice as to create it was with different specifications is unclear to me. He asserted that both Polonia and I are unique and cannot be replicated. He clarified that I am myself, whereas Polonia is a purely mechanical construct. Overcast. Sorted through the warehouse and cleaned the room. Debugged Polonia's basic functions. Oh, is that when Alan passed away? Or is he still around? It's interesting because in like the lore, or not the lore, like the Commedia dell'arte, where the names of the Fatui Harbingers, or their code names come from, it's like Sandrone and Polonia are usually a couple. With this time, Sandrone is the woman and Polonia is the guy. But I assume she wasn't already named Sandrone at this point, so it's just serendipity that Polonia is named Polonia, whereas I don't know what she would have been called at this point. Would she have been called Sandrone at this point? Or did she only get that name when she joined the Fatui? Alright, anyway. Okay, no. Alan's still here, but I don't think he has very long. Rainy. Alan has passed out. His condition is deteriorating. The doctor examined him with a grim expression. Alan's subordinate came to visit him, bringing him a brand new tea set and some expensive tea leaves. Alan doesn't like to drink tea, nor is he used to using luxurious things. So the tea set is mine. Oh, that must be the tea set then that she used for her tea parties with Arlecchino and Signora and Columbina. Sunny. All my potted plants are thriving. This is simple, and it seems almost too straightforward to claim any credit for myself. When the conditions are right, they simply grow on their own, independent of any gardener. I see a parallel in myself. I, too, do not rely on anything to grow. Overcast. Today I helped Alan with Polonia's final test. He's been unable to walk, so I transported him there in a wheelchair. Alan displayed little emotion. Despite Polonia's stable performance, he wasn't satisfied. He explained that Polonia, in essence, merely an algorithm designed to calculate the unknown. As for what the unknown is, he himself was uncertain. The scope of the unknown is vast, too vast to quantify. I find it difficult to process that even he lacks an answer, and this realization causes him sorrow. I don't understand. Alan asked, "How shall we view the fate of this world?" "Use a detector," I responded. And in the future, Sandrone will use a method Alan himself would not use to be able to calculate the fate of the world. Alright. Sunny, Alan has entrusted me with his old notebooks. It brings me genuine joy, and I find great value in the knowledge he imparted. Later, I've been contemplating the fate of this world. I quickly concluded that it is an inquiry without an answer. If people cannot even grasp their own destinies, how can they presume to meddle with the world's? A truly foolish notion. Alan remarked that since there are quite a few fools who hold such ideas. I laughed and gave him a disbelieving look. Then he began to laugh as well, though I cannot comprehend what he finds amusing. Because those people with that he considers fools with such ideas are his old friends. Sunny, I brought new bed sheets, pillowcases, and curtains. My room is now refreshingly tidy. I must say that was a clever decision. Yeah. Definitely seeing her personality come through here. Indeed, she is quite different from Marianne, as far as we can tell. Sunny, I've been too modest in my recent records. I'm not as smart, just smart. I'm brilliant. I am a quick learner. Even Alan agrees. Oh, this is a long one. Sunny, Alan's body won't hold on much longer. He sat by the fireplace and told me some stories. He created me in the beginning to honor the memory of the years he spent with his sister. He hadn't even decided what to do with me when he first brought me into being. Later, he hoped I could travel on his behalf to see the world and broaden his horizons. One problem, Alan and I are now colleagues, both tied down by long-term professional commitments. It seems true freedom to travel is for those unburdened by work. As he put it, that dream lies in ruins now, a complete and utter failure. Oh no. Well, ironically, I'm sure she traveled the world as a Fatui Harbinger, just not with the same wonder and curiosity that she would have had she been able to carry out Alan's wishes. He mentioned that he once had another wish but abandoned it long ago. I pressed him for details, and he admitted with some awkwardness that he once dreamed of saving the world when he was young. I asked if this is a wish I needed to inherit. He was taken aback and firmly told me no. He said I can do anything I like and he has no expectations of me. Alain asked me if there's anything I wanted to do. Well, I haven't found that yet. But I know what it is I don't want. Go to hell, Dottore! That is... I gotta say, those are some great words to have on your gravestone. Sunny. Parents are responsible for bringing children into the world, and children are responsible for the future. This is a social rule. I believe the final unspoken tenet of this rule is that children are also responsible for their parents' final years. Which is, you know, something many children feel. Alain's final years have reached their end. He left a will concerning his remaining possessions, a small sum of savings, Polonia, and some notebooks. He asked me to burn the notebooks after his death to avoid theft. Honestly, given the sheer volume, Polonia is probably the only one who could steal them. Polonia was Alain's final pursuit in life. It is a pity he did not live to see it produce a definitive answer. He told me not to worry about it and that I could leave Polonia to the Fontaine Research Institute. My only regret was that those people wouldn't know how to maintain it as well as I do. I disagree with this plan. Polonia will remain with me. However, I am not sure what I should use it for. Rainy. Today was Alain's funeral. Alright, the raining went in when someone dies and has their funeral stereotype. Heavy rain fell throughout the ceremony as if someone was crying in the sky. Oh! As if someone was crying in the sky. Do you think it was... Do you think... Oh, I bet... Now I realize. Okay, Neverlet probably went to the funeral. Alright. So annoying! Holding an umbrella in the rain is so inconvenient. Hey, I agree, actually. I don't like umbrellas that much, despite the fact that I live in a place that's so rainy. Alain was laid to rest and everything proceeded smoothly. I was the one who stepped forward to bid him farewell, while Polonia stayed behind to look after the house. The weather didn't clear up until midnight. I sat by the grave for a while, keeping Alain company, with the moon in the sky keeping me company in turn. The night was very quiet. No more sounds of labored breathing. It feels as though the only companion I have left in this world is the moon. Aww. And Polonia. You have Polonia. Even before she met Columbina, even before the moon in the sky was the real moon, it would seem that this was perhaps a foreshadowing of her connection to the moon later on. Sunny, I'm leaving now. Farewell! Alright, goodbye to Fontaine. Overcast, update log. Upgraded Polonia's tea brewing functions. Upgraded Polonia's meal delivery service functions. Upgraded Polonia's book search functions. Corrected a malfunction where Polonia could not hang laundry. To the outside, I'll claim that Polonia's my attendant. That should turn some curious stares away. I have to protect it. It's Alain's secret and his wish. Yeah. Well, his wish was for you to bring Polonia to the Fontaine Research Institute. But I suspect he only wished that because he was worried Polonia would, you know, burden you on your travels. He did not expect that Polonia would become the awesome assistant that he did. And indeed, you probably do take much better care of Polonia than the Fontaine Research Institute did, you know. Considering how everything there exploded eventually and all that, I don't think... Anyway. Alright. Okay, now this is when she made it to Snezhnaya. Overcast. Snezhnaya is so cold, though it has nothing to do with me. So she probably just has a thermometer, but she doesn't actually feel cold, right? Overcast. I found a new job and the pay is pretty good. My boss is a woman with an icy demeanor. And I do mean icy. As for my colleagues, they're a real mixed bag. It's already getting on my nerves. Sunny, what's the point of a sunny day in Snezhnaya? It snows just as heavily. My colleagues are so annoying! Yeah. We're seeing the family here of the Fatui Harbingers. What's the one with sunny day? Well, at least you can see the sun. If it's cloudy all the time, you can't see the sun. Rainy, I haven't journaled for a good while. It just slipped my mind. Nothing felt particularly worth recording, and since it's something I don't feel like doing, I might as well pause it for now. I go through stages like that with my journaling too. It's just nothing to say. A new text appears after a few blank pages. Okay. So probably a few hundred years passed, and then Sandrone remembered, oh yeah, I have a journal. Which, most of us don't get to come back to our journal after hundreds of years, but Sandrone does. Sunny, Columbina is so annoying! Sunny, Arlecchino is so annoying! Friends. Once again, this the moon connection between Arlecchino and Columbina, and the Commedia dell'arte lore, too. Overcast. What on earth was Dottore thinking? I simply cannot agree with his approach. Overcast. It's been weeks since the new project was launched, and it's still stuck in the approval process. What is Pantalone's problem with financial approvals? Why is he so ridiculously stringent? It's not like it's his personal money. It all belongs to the Fatui. Well, somebody has to do budgeting when at least one of your members is creating gods and, floating into the sky. Somebody around here's got to do budgeting. But I agree, how much budget could Sandrone's projects really take compared to Dottore's? Snowy. Dottore's project was approved 10 times faster than mine? He and Pantalone should do me a favor and disappear from my sight. Yeah, it sounds like we're not gonna like Pantalone either, because he was, like, Dottore's bestie in the Fatui Harbingers, right? And now we know he even gave Dottore special treatment when it came to funding? Which means he approved of Dottore's projects, which means we don't like him. Sunny, a meeting with Her Majesty the Tsaritsa. Duration 2 hours 15 minutes. Okay, long meeting. I assume she didn't record the duration of any other meetings with the Tsaritsa before. Sunny, Rosaline brought me a new tea set claiming it was from Mondstadt and a bottle of wine. That's odd. Didn't she say she couldn't be bothered to go to Mondstadt? Oh, so is this right after she came and stole Venti's noses? That's really odd how everybody, the Fatui, and say Child refers to her as Signora. The other Harbingers, like Columbina and Sandrone, refer to all the other Harbingers by their code names. Why only Rosaline they refer to as Rosaline instead of Signora? I wonder. Or is it just because, that's their dynamic? But yeah, Sandrone and Columbina refer to her as Rosaline and not Signora, even though they use everybody else's code names. Okay, interesting though. Went to Mondstadt. Wait, so you're saying when Signora went to Mondstadt, she came and then she went outside the Church of Favonius and then she stole Venti's gnosis and she's like, it's vermin, and then Venti starts, rap battling on her kinda. Or diss track, I guess. Anyway, you're telling me she also went and bought a bottle of wine and a tea set while just walking through Mondstadt? Okay. Sunny, attended Piero's lecture. Not bad. The content is pretty good. Pulcinello's lecture is tomorrow. Okay. What was Piero's lecture on? Like the Conria and the Abyss? Rainy, a meeting with Capitano, Arlecchino, and Rosaline. Duration 40 minutes. So the tea set was purchased by mail. Okay, so never mind. It's not... Never mind. She did not go and purchase wine and a tea set from Mondstadt. Well, that explains everything. Rosaline's new high heels are so loud. They're noisy, but I do like the gift she gave me. I suppose I can cut her some slack. Okay, so this is still before, our story began. This is before Mondstadt. Alright. Heavy snow. Columbina's preference for tea is quite ordinary, not as refined as Arlecchino's. Perhaps that's just like her. Do special people like ordinary tea, and ordinary people special tea? Sunny, it's been 2 weeks since we lost contact with Tartaglia on his mission. Okay. I'm assuming they did not just jump to the part where Tartaglia disappeared in the Primordial Sea after being in the Fortress of Meropide. So I'm assuming he vanished at some other point of the mission? Tartaglia returned with a few scratches. Also, looks like Columbina and Dottore are on the outs. I didn't ask further. It was only a matter of time anyways. Okay, I'm assuming this is... Okay, but there must be... Okay, a few hundred years passed. I'm just... Since Tartaglia is clearly the youngest by a lot of, like, the Fatui Harbingers, as far as we know. I guess Arlecchino, too. Like, how many of the Fatui Harbingers have, like, normal human lifespans? Arlecchino, Tartaglia... Maybe Pantalone. We don't know. Okay, actually, not that many. Okay, there's a couple, though. Anyway, this is before the story happened, right? But, I mean, our Genshin Impact story. But then, not that long, because clearly Arlecchino and Tartaglia are here. Okay. Oh, I see the last entry. Overcast. Arlecchino and Columbina came over tea and picked Rosaline up on the way. It was a good day. I should keep some cookies on hand for next time. Aw, so she, in her journal, she likes hanging out with the three of them. Snowy. Rosaline is dead. Yeah, sorry about that. I mean, technically, I wasn't the one who killed her. And technically, I challenged her to a duel where I was perfectly capable of being killed myself, and she very much agreed to it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So, okay, that is when the story happened. Are you saying, wait, maybe Senora did go and buy a tea set and bottle of wine from Mondstadt, and she just didn't want to admit it to Sandrone? That's pretty possible. Because now this is Inazuma when Senora died. New text appears after a few blank pages. Most of it relates to the Narzissenkreuz ordo, so obtruse that prolonged study leaves one busy. Mixed in are a few offhand comments, which looks like Sandrone's recent jottings. Okay. Heavy snow. Capitano chose to stay in Natlan. Shame. Yeah. Stay is one way to put I'm gonna sit on a chair with my soul out of my body for the rest of eternity. Yes, he chose to stay in that land. Sunny, Columbina hasn't been faring well since she resigned. Serves her right. I did warn her to think carefully before making such decisions, but she wouldn't listen. When is this? Is this after she encountered Columbina? Like when we went to visit her at the Experimental Design Bureau? Because then some time has passed between these. The materials Arlecchino provided were extensive. I owe her my thanks. Important. Send gifts to the House of the Hearth, one for every child. Aww. That's sweet of her. A new project and I have to collaborate with Dottore? I can't help but feel some resentment towards Her Majesty for this. But Her Majesty's plan, it must succeed. Yes, but not Dottore's plan. It turns out Dottore's plan is quite different from the Saritsa's plan, it sounds like. Gods, Columbina, can you stop being so annoying? Okay. Hey, you know, she wrote in her log in her journal when she upgraded Polonia's tea function, laundry, all these things. She didn't write in her journal when she gave Polonia combat abilities, but I assume it was in the few 100-year period that I assume she took a break from journaling. Polonia's situation is stable, optimizing algorithmic logic. Expecting several hours of downtime. A meeting with Arlecchino. Duration 20 minutes. Tea break with Arlecchino. Duration 1 hour. Is this when, after Act 4, when they just see them sitting there and having tea? Okay. Scattered amongst vast volumes of data are a few terms. Calculations, orthants. Alright, that also has to do with the Narzissenkreuz ordo. The probability of Columbina being alive is definitely higher than any other outcome. Absolutely! Also, today is Alain's birthday. Oh, happy birthday, Alain. I do hope the traveler's safe. It would be a great hassle otherwise. Thank you. I actually appreciate that. Almost there. Inconceivable. Hackguy's core is from Irminsul. Performance is stable. He seems to know us pretty well. Or maybe he's just a sociable sort? Now I'm wondering how many journal entries related to Scaramouche got erased from this journal. Oh, the joy I would have to see those journal entries. Inconceivable. Hat Guy's chorus from Ermin's Soul. I trusted all along that Sandrone wasn't going to let anything happen to Hat Guy. But I didn't realize that was going to come at the cost of her own life and Polonia's. Right? Once again, I'm really hoping she's not dead, but I knew she wasn't going to let Hat Guy die. I just didn't expect that she'd be willing to sacrifice herself to make that happen. Okay. These are like, all of these were written in like the last day. Core assembly completed. System checked and deployed for combat. Recording the key points of this technique. By using Lowanatars, a fragment of Columbina's soul, connection with a variable of this world, a descender, we aim to effect the retrieval of Columbina's complete soul from inside the moon's reflection. Oh! So this is what I've been calling it, when using catapulting Columbina's soul, using Lowanatars and anchors. Somehow, with us as a descender, we were able to help that happen. I see. Okay, that's actually that actually clears things up. I mean, I'm not going to ask how you did that, but involving a descender, yeah, that makes everything add up. The survival of the traveler is a necessary condition for success. I see. That's why she was willing to die for us. We needed the Lonatar and Ether to be able to catapult the rest of Columbina's soul to the present day, along with bringing the moon in through the sky. Her body, soul, and authority reunited. She was able to come back. Oh, Sandrone. I see. Update log. Upgraded Polonia's core function to world formula. Upgraded Polonia's search and retrieval functions. Implemented a new self-preservation mechanism for Polonia. Combat priority shifted from protecting me to protecting Polonia. Oh, so that way, because that's where Hat Guy's core was. Installed a false core and data destruction function. Alright, that's what she had in herself, right? All log data will be cleared if the damage level falls below the critical threshold, which is 90%. That's why it was really important we got to 90%. Iterated on my self-preservation mechanisms. Sandrone. The music stopped too, to let us process that. Oh, Sandrone. Like I said, I hope all the evidence points towards the end is not yet for you. But you're so lively and cheerful. Okay. She changed, and I mean, at the beginning, would you have ever thought she would change from her own self-preservation to that of the mission, which is basically protecting Polonia? I mean, protecting Polonia, yes, but more importantly, she was protecting the core, Hat Guy's core. That's still insane. You could basically just take Hat Guy's computer chip and use it to run other calculations on it, and he's still okay. He's still alive. That shows how incredible Sandrone's skill is. It also shows Hat Guy trusted us, we trusted Sandrone. He must have also had to trust Sandrone too, though, you know. I mean, he knows her, even though she doesn't know him. Alright, I have one more thing I want to do. And for that we require the Sword of Narzissenkreuz.
As you wish.
I've been having a lot of fun with this. I gave my two mannequins, like, I guess not silly swords, because the Sword of Narzissenkreuz is not, oh, that's not her. This is a silly sword, I think. And this is, well, they're gimmick swords. This is a gimmick sword. Right? This is a silly sword. I gave them my Silly weapons. The way its eyeball still moves, right? Anyway. I only have a refinement 1. Apparently you can refine the Sword of Narzissenkreuz. It's just so silly. Do you see the way its head moves around? Look at its head. You are so funny. Like the mannequins, right? Yeah, that's right. You can change into a normal outfit and then horse. Alright, we're gonna leave Nod-Krai for a second. Go back to Fontaine. Go back to... Actually, we don't have to go back to Anaplastis right away, but you know. The fake Anaplastis anyway. We know where the... Oh my gosh, look at its head still has the physics underwater. You'd think it would jostle around less with how much more dense the water is, but it's funny this way. That's so funny. All right. Apparently, the Sword of Narzissenkreuz can be refined using these conches. I have 2 of them. There's 4, so now I need to find where the other 2 are. And I have a guide here because, let's be honest, I will never figure this out myself at this point. 2 of them are in the Institute of Natural Philosophy. Right. So now I gotta figure out which ones have I already acquired. So there's supposed to be 1 treasure chest. Where is it? Back here. I cannot wait to do some videos just with the horse, you know. I have a feeling I got the 2 that were in the Institute of Natural Philosophy already. This is so silly. Oh, barrel conch, I will take that. Happily. I don't actually know where I'm looking. The circle is just around this stretch of hallway. Let's see. Oh, that was not that epic. No, is there nothing here? Maybe it's underwater. I can consider that. It's either finding the treasure chest or finding the exact location in the picture to match with the treasure chest. I haven't seen it yet. There should be a desk with a light on it. It's not in here. There must be something above this. The music in here. Hey guys, don't mind me. Don't mind me. What the heck? Where? Is it even on this layer, you think? Or do you think it's on the other layer? Oh, that's not it. How do I get to the other layer? I think it's up there? I don't think it's up there. I don't know. Oh, is it over here? It must be over here. That makes sense. The way its head just flops around, you know. Okay, I most definitely already got this one. Okay. There are so many names to remember in the Narzissenkreuz lore. So, wait, where's the second one? In the Narzissenkreuz. Okay. Where is it? Should be down here? What is it? Oh, in the Narzissenkreuz order. You mean like in the tower. Okay. Oh, I get it. Because we can't get inside anymore. Well, I guess this was the only way inside in the first place. But technically, the entire tower is now down there, so... This is the only way in. I get it. That's why it says in the Narzissenkreuz ordo. Well, I'm sure I already got this one then. I've been pretty thorough in here, right? It's next to... It looks like it would be here. In the picture? 100% looks like it would be here. You're so silly, horse. Okay, I assume those are the two I already got then. Next one is in a chest in Brave's hidden study. Right. So there's a cave here. And then you remember way back, we probably don't remember. It's a couple years ago now. We went to that Archeum forge and it took all the green Archeum crystals we had and then like turned it into this refined thing. Then it was the entrance to a cave. It unlocked the door. At one point, I just opened it, I think. Just, you know, playing the game on my own time. This is so silly. The horse makes me want to laugh so much. I can't. In here, I opened the door. Did I not get what was inside the door? I guess I didn't get what was inside the door. What's inside the door? Launch. What's in here? How do I get in here? Oh, I bet it's in here. The conch. Oh yeah, there's a chest in there. Okay, how do I open this then? I opened the door. I must not have been able to figure out. Okay, someone's taking a picture of this conch thing. Biological samples. Okay. So now I have to remember whose this must have been according to the Narzissenkreuz lore. Is there a camera inside? How am I supposed to unlock this? Oh, I see. Okay. First of all, it was an Archeum Luminite, and then... Isn't that we can climb it? Oh! Okay, I see. Ceiling has, like, things on it we can climb off of. There we go. Alright, that solves all the problems. Salvation is meaningless if only a few can be saved. Were these words to be spoken by one of noble character, that would be all. When the issues of cost and efficiency cannot be resolved, allowing the few to be saved is the best choice. The underwater shelter is undoubtedly a technical success, but even if we ignore cost issues, it's still a stopgap measure at best. The Archeum project has greater potential, but foraging can only realize a fragment of its potential, and that is an experimentally proven fact. Another project criticized as being purely ornamental said ornamental value is an objective fact, but it is useless to science. Archeum is rather ornamental too, but its beauty is worthless if it cannot serve the well-being of Fontaine's people. Okay. Alright. Oh, the treasure shall now be mine. Okay, open this. Yay. Okay. I thought it'd be some super complex puzzle, but thankfully it was just climbing over the wall. Okay, I understand. What is this? Mora! The Mora shall be mine. What is that? It's a book. Okay. Not a useful book. Okay, wait. I missed it. Did we get the conch from this? Where is it? Yay, we got the conch. Well, we have one more conch to get. You see down here at Loch Urana. Yeah, the thing that we used was called an Archeum Luminite. And we forged it a really, really long time ago. Here at Loch Urana. The water's all still here now. Dude, the horse. Just look at the horse. Jeez. I love how serious this game gets, and then sometimes I just can't take it seriously at all. We have to go in here. We need to meet an old friend. Actually, I don't even think I ever visited this place previously, even though I knew it was here. I'll say just because I didn't want the person who... Oh, is it in here? Maybe in here. It's not in here. It's not in here. Where is it then? Is it just up here? Maybe I don't have to go in the water. Maybe it's just up here. Maybe I didn't need to go in the water in the first place. Anyway. Yeah, okay. I just didn't want her to disappear, but I realized if you don't buy everything from her, Passive is still here! Oh my gosh. I was trying to hide the fact that I did this after the other episode I recorded, but now I was gonna have them out of order, so... Yeah, that's there. That's so cute! That's okay. We could have episodes out of order, right? She has the sign. That's so cute. Okay. Spoilers for tomorrow. Passive! Paimon, Teddy! I see you, Passive. Nice to see you again. What are you doing around here? Passive working. Passive tired. Passive lie down. Huh? You're working? Foggy Forest Branch. Foggy Forest Branch. Fairy Throw.
Huh? What's a foggy forest branch? Foggy forest branch. Information. Riddle collect. Fog handle. Spring send. Foggy forest branch. Missed information.
So he means information about the foggy forest path?
Passive. Foggy forest branch. Very thorough. Very many places. Passive searching. Passive tired. Passive eat. Passive lie down. Foggy forest branch. Very not many. But boxes very many. Ah, thank you, Paimon. Thank you, Teddy. Here.
You found us a treasure chest again?
Passive. Box, treasure, flowers, shiny, sweet, very many. Oh, so there's other stuff too? You know, Passive, you're real nice, but it'd be bad if we kept taking your stuff for free. Why don't we exchange things instead? Exchange? That's right, we're friends, and friends should exchange gifts in earnest with one another. So, we're gonna help you find your foggy forest branches and exchange those for your stuff. What do you say?
And we can get you some stuff to eat, too.
Right, we can do that. You're having a hard time by yourself after all. Eh? Teddygal! Passive!
You like Teddygal?
Teddygal! Does that mean you eat 5 meals or 5 Teddygal a day? Well, you might have Paimon beat for appetite. Well, what about the branches then? Can we find them by following the foggy forest path? Melusine. Foggy forest branch. Very thorough. Very many places. Very Irenaeus.
Oh, so the branches are all over Irenaeus then.
Smart Tenny. Passive. Foggy path has flowers. Branches also flowers. Branch. Number.
Is there 6 of them?
Oh, Paimon gets it now. The branches can be found in places with the same flowers as the foggy forest path, and there are 6 locations, right? Smart Paimon. Passive. Guess we're all clear now, huh? Make sure you rest up, Passive. Just leave this to us. Paimon, Teddy, good thing. So, slowly, Passive.
Passive. We brought the branches. We brought some Teddygal.
Teddygal.
Oh. I got this stuff from her. I see. If I buy it, though, I think it eventually makes her go away. Unless after completing this quest, she now stays here permanently. Anyway, I don't want her to go away. There we go. Ah! He says, okay.
Nice to see you again,
Passive. I was gonna pretend this was the first time I saw you. No, I can't pretend that anymore. I mean, first time I saw you in a while. That's awkward. Okay, anyway. We gotta play these Melusine quests so I can open this Shrine of Depths because I need to get this Hydroculus, which is locked behind a thing that's related to one of the quests. Of course. Now we go back to Anapasis this time. Ah! Where is the fountain? Fountain of Anapasis. Where's the courtyard? Where's the courtyard? Oh, there it is. There it is. Here we go. Oh, what? All of these. The Narzissenkreuz lore, there's just so much. Maybe I need to watch back my own videos on it again. The part with Seymour, Caterpillar, and then the final part. That's a lot, though. That was pretty long. Okay. The fountain here. Little fountain. Arriving at the predestined location makes the sword of Narzissenkreuz tremble as it has come to life. Offer up the drained conch cup. A radiant auric glow pools within. Yeah, all of it. No, I can only do one at a time? Okay, I guess I'll refine each one at a time. Now it becomes the surging sacred chalice. The specialized refinement material for the sword of Narzissenkreuz. Conches were often favored materials in ancient Fontainian civilization for making ritual implements, and the sacred unguents within this conch, chose as a sanctified chalice, have finally emerged. Symbolically, this chalice is the primordial word, the oils are its own will, and the holy sword itself is reason, which breaks through all. I see. It's also, connected to Remoria. The music in here. And now I have to catch up on all the Narzissenkreuz lore. Maybe revisit all the locations too. For the drained conch cup, okay. One at a time. We should try switching it to Osea too. I mean, that's the thing, it's a gimmick sword, right? Outside of Fontaine, it doesn't really matter if it's Numa or Osea. But it's cool. It's a cool aesthetic, don't you think? Yay! With our conches, we can now go and find the sword of Narzissenkreuz and... no, so we already ascended it. And refine it all the way up, which means it now deals double attack as damage when there's a Numa or Osea strike. Which is great. Yay! Go horsey! You know, when Renee and the Narzissenkreuz characters, you know, when this sword was created, did they ever expect it was going to be held by a silly horse like this? This is so silly. Okay, let's try Osea. If the end of the timescale is reached and the universe is like a blank sheet of paper, the former holy blade will project its shadow to reveal the way forward. Okay, now it's purple. Whoa, that's so cool. Purple. Purple Sword of Narzissenkreuz. We should keep it like this for a little bit. That's cool. I like the gold war, but that's cool. I like the purple too. Don't we like them both? This is so silly. This game can be so silly sometimes. A story. Lyris. Narcissus. Okay. Kate, okay. Should be gone. I remember all the little creatures we were playing. Neville, Nay, and Jacques. I realize now. Al is Alain, Nay is Renee, and Jacques is Jacob. Lyris is the director, right? Colonel Kate. Who is Colonel Kate supposed to be? Because this is the fairy tale that they made when they were kids, but these all turned out to be like real people, right? Who is Colonel Kate? I'm trying to remember. Any ideas? No ideas. None at all. Brain is empty. Alright. Now I'm hoping Sandrone comes back so we have more excuse to learn more about this stuff again. Alright. Well, I still insist on putting this episode first because it's just after the aftermath of the Archon quest we did. Tomorrow's episode is going to be the one where I already did Nevulet's world quest, so we're going to have that. And who knows? I'm thinking I might want to do some I want to finish exploring Fontaine. Should do that. We should do that. And then we should explore the new areas in Nod-Krai. I'm so excited! It's just, I'm assuming, you know, they're not going to release a brand new area, like, right away, which means I don't need to rush. And I'm going to be starting to get busy again soon. I've had a lot of free time to play. But it's okay. Still around. Alright. Say goodbye to the horse, everybody. Say goodbye to the horsey and the Sword of Narzissenkreuz. Because this is the silliness that we engage in sometimes here. Alright, thank you all for watching. I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.
It was classified as belonging to the same class and superorder as a standard Demon King, but was part of a different Grand Order. The Chipmunk Demon King looked very fierce indeed. Oh, You're having trouble imagining what this chipmunk demon king might look like? Perhaps I should ask Malaus to help us.